of the group last week. I think you guys were all in the Miracle Morning group. Colleen, you were in that, right? Yeah. And Rachel, I know you were, and Angela. Hey, Kate, how are you? Can you hear us?
No, I can't. Were you talking to me?
Oh, I just said hi.
Hi, sorry. It takes me a while to get my audio.
That's okay. We're just did you do the Miracle Morning group?
I did it, yes.
Yeah, so we're just sort of talking about that. That's sort of going to be our focus this week in the channel. It's just kind of talking a little bit more about morning routines and, because I get it all the time that people say to me all the time, oh, I'm just not a morning person though. And, oh, Angela, I think you're screen sharing. Oh, there we go. And I don't know, this might be just mean of me, but I just kind of want to say, like, I think that's bullshit when people say I'm not a morning person. That's like saying, oh, I'm not a workout person. Well, like, yeah, no one is to start with. And there are people who just genuinely like mornings and do better in the mornings, and I am one of those. So I think it's easy for me to sort of preach this, but I 100% believe that everybody can become a morning person. I think you can become whatever you want to be. And if morning is something that you want to be good at, I think that you 100% can become a morning person, but not everybody wants to hear that from me when I tell them that. But yeah, it's just a decision that you make. But yeah, we were talking about how, like, yeah, this, and that's why I love doing that group. I've done it twice now. And I think that it just, because you need to implement those steps. It's different than just sort of like thinking about something and maybe making some changes. It's like step by step, you sort of have to do it. And then at the end of it, you sort of can implement your own miracle morning. Like maybe now going into like week 2 of it, you aren't going to do it step by step, or things change and you have less time or more time, and you can totally customize it. Like I customize mine all the time. Like yesterday I had to work, so I wasn't going to be like enjoying this lovely miracle morning. Like, no, I had to go work a 12-hour shift. Like that was on my mind, not like, oh, visualization. No, I had to get my ass out of bed and go to work. So it totally changes, what you have going on that day and in your life. Like there's been times where I just couldn't do my miracle morning. I remember I'd gotten into a really good routine with it because I started in January, or maybe it was like end of January, beginning of February. And I was like loving it and faithful to it. And then March break hit. And like, I couldn't do it. And it was the first, like basically that Monday of March break was the first day that I couldn't get it done, because just the whole routine of our life was turned upside down with March break happening. And it like 100% affected me. It affected my mindset. It affected how I treated my kids. And it wasn't until like halfway through that week, because I couldn't figure out like what is wrong with me. Like my business was in a funk, our house was in a funk, like just everything felt totally off. And I know it was because I had just sort of decided like that Sunday night, you know what, I'm not going to be able to do that miracle morning on Monday because it's March break, and I need to like do stuff instead of just like the visualization, all those nice things that I didn't feel like was a priority, and I didn't prioritize it. Well, holy crap, within a few days, I just felt right back to like my old self from a couple years ago. And I was moody and I didn't even want to get out of bed. And it just sort of, it really hit me like, you know what, this is so important. And there are still some days that I can't do my miracle morning the way I want to do it, but it's even just getting little bits and pieces of it here and there. If it's just a few minutes of me just like sitting silently and reading a couple pages, that is enough to sort of get me through and that positive mindset. Did you guys enjoy the group if you did participate in it? Like, did you find it really helpful, or anybody want to comment?
Yeah, I found it really helpful. I wasn't able to really do it. I was more learning from you and getting prepared to do it, because my situation right now is that there's very little time between when we wake up and when my husband leaves for work. And when we wake up, because we're in a like small apartment in Toronto, when my husband and I wake up, my daughter wakes up. So it's really hard for me to figure out how to sneak like stuff in early before she wakes up. So right now what I've just started doing is like as soon as she gets up, he takes her and he gets her started with breakfast, and then I do as much as I can, but it's only about 45 minutes that I have. So I've been doing like my workout, my shower really fast. So, but I definitely like everything you wrote, I read, and I definitely can see it and I definitely believe in it. And I want to do that as soon as possible.
Yeah. Even if you can sort of do like 1 to 2 minutes of each section, like 1 to 2 minutes of silence, 1 to 2 minutes of your affirmations. Like affirmations don't even have to take that long. Like I can bust
That's
out
a good
my
idea.
pretty quickly, but you can condense it to like a 5-minute miracle morning.
Yeah, I didn't think of that. That's smart.
Yeah. So just condense it all. You don't need to be like 1 minute on each thing is more like that is going to benefit you huge. Like 1 minute of silence, 1 minute of visualization, like that can change a whole bunch of stuff in your day if you do even 5 minutes in the morning of it all and just condense it. So
Okay, I'm gonna try that.
yeah, definitely.
I'm just going to pop in. I don't know if you guys have ever heard me talk about this. Is called the 5-minute journal. And it's like, I don't think it's very expensive. It might be $10 at Chapters, but it literally takes you through all of those steps from the miracle morning every morning. And I started doing this when probably a couple months ago. And it's great. It's literally just supposed to take you 5 minutes right before, like in the morning, but it also takes you through a nightly routine as well. So it talks about, what you're grateful for, what would make today great. Like it's really good for affirmations and really sort of setting your intentions for the morning. And then I'm really big on thinking before you go to sleep too, thinking about 3 like amazing things that happen, even if you had the shittiest day in the world. I think it's so important to go to sleep feeling like, okay, just because I feel like a shitty mom, there was a few things that happened that were really good. Like my kid's still alive. That might be it some nights, but you've got to kind of go on a positive, like go to sleep on a positive route. And then it also gets you to think about how could I have made this day better? So you start your day being grateful for things and what would make today great. Like what are 3 things that would happen today that would be great? But then you go to bed saying, what maybe could I have done better? So mine is usually, I want to be a better mom. And then what could make it better? I could have been a better mom. It's always the same thing. But this book was really good for me because it got me into a real like routine of the whole thing. And I think someone gave this to me, but it wasn't very expensive. It starts with a really nice quote, and I honestly, to tell you the truth, I leave it in the bathroom and I do it when I'm going to the bathroom first thing in the morning. Like that's how quick it is. It's so, so simple, but it kind of like it's right in line with the book. So I thought when I was reading the first few chapters this morning, I thought this really is kind of a journal that would go along with that book really easily.
Yeah. And it's so true. Like your thoughts, I think I talked about this in the group, but maybe I didn't. Your thoughts at bedtime really can impact your morning. Like, I don't know if you guys have ever had it where like something, whether it was like a fight with your spouse or your kids, like you just went to bed and it just like didn't feel good. And then you just think, oh, I'm just going to sleep it off. And then you wake up in the morning and you kind of have to think like, okay, I feel like I should be feeling really bad about something. Like what happened last night? I feel like I should not be and then you go, oh yeah, right. Oh, right. Like it doesn't happen to me as much anymore because of the changes I've made, but that's something that used to happen to me all the time. Like I would just have to did something happen yesterday that I need to be like feeling shitty about right now? Cause like, I don't know if you guys don't even know what I'm talking about with that, but if you go to bed with those good thoughts, that honestly is going to be what you wake up with. And I think in the group I did talk about it. If you're going to bed thinking like, I don't want to wake up tomorrow morning, like, oh my God, my alarm's going to go off at 5:30 and I have to get up and go to work. Like, oh, this sucks and I'm only going to get 7 hours of sleep and oh my God. If that's seriously what you're going to bed thinking like, well, you're going to wake up thinking those exact same things. That's going to be your mindset for the entire day. Like, if you're in a shitty job that you don't like, well then, like, let's talk and let's make some changes to that, because that's no way to really live your life. But if it's just you, like, being like not a morning person and just like bitchy about having to wake up, change those thoughts when you go to bed. Think about how awesome tomorrow is going to be and what you're looking forward to tomorrow, and what can you be excited about tomorrow. And like, I legit do wake up every morning like pumped to wake up. Like, I'm already excited tomorrow to wake up. Like, I just am very in a happy place and positive about my life and where it's going. And that's because I've trained my mind to go that way, right? We all can dwell on like the shit in our lives, and like, yeah, waking up at 5 a.m. that can be brutal, but I choose to look at it like, I am so lucky that I get to wake up at 5 a.m. and be passionate and be happy and excited about that alarm going off at 5 a.m. and that I'm pumped up to like jump out of bed. And that's like, I'm not even having to convince myself of that anymore, because I've told myself that for so long that I 100% believe it now. So whatever your thoughts are when you're going to bed at night, that is what you're going to wake up with. So it's one of those easy to do, easy not to do. So it's just about training your thoughts and what you want your first thoughts of the day to be like. Oh, Michelle, you're muted.
I think it's important to remember there, like I talked about last week, there's seasons in your life, right? So there's going to be times that it's a lot easier to be super, super positive. I will be the first to admit the last 6 months, it hasn't been as easy to wake up pumped about life. Like, my dad just died. So, I wasn't like jumping out of bed at 5 thinking life was awesome, right? So you have to give yourself grace periods in your life. There's going to be different seasons, but I still had to fill myself with positivity to get through that. So there's no way that I would have dealt with the last 6 months the way I did if I hadn't already trained myself to feel fairly positive. And if I had something negative or sad come in, I've read so much and done so much in the last few years, it's easy to flip the switch for me now, whereas before I wouldn't have been able to. I think that about, all different journeys in your life. If you're filling yourself up with positive stuff, it's going to be a lot easier to get through the harder stuff. There's no question that all of us are going to have hard stuff come up in your life. That's just the way it is. And you can't beat yourself up if you're not always like Megan on like steroids, like love and life. Like, that's just not always going to be like that. But the more you work on it and the more you feed yourself with positivity, the easier those hard times are. And that's the same with your weight loss journey, right? Like, we want to always bring this back to why you guys are here. And the reason you're here is you're trying to get to a health and fitness goal. And you've got to be filling yourself. You've got to be in the right mindset. You've got to be in that positive place to get through the hard times. Because losing weight, the daily tasks that you have to do are pretty easy. We give you all those tools, right? You know what you're supposed to eat. You know how much you're supposed to eat. You know that you're supposed to exercise. We give you the exercises. Really, it's pretty simple. But it's so not, right? It's so not simple. If it was simple, everyone would be at their perfect weight loss. So the key to it all is getting into that positive mind space, that positive space that you can continue on that consistent journey, because it doesn't happen fast. The key to the whole thing is consistency. And that's why this mindset stuff that we like fill our group with and all these tools that we're trying to give you really are your keys to the success of getting to that first goal that you have with us. You know, we hope we can take you on an even bigger journey if you want to join us in your life, but we want to start with your health because that's why you've come to us. And all of these tools beyond the containers and the stuff that you get at the beginning are really what has flipped the switch for both of us. Me having a really big weight loss, it's the reason I've been able to keep it off. It's the reason this weekend I stayed on track, did not get off track. And, you know, it wasn't that hard because I have the mindset tool. And every night, like I freaking high-fived myself big time because I'm like, you know what, I did that, you know, and it was all mindset stuff all day. There was junk around me 24/7 this weekend. But because I was in this positive place, I had accountability from you guys. I've got all these tools now. I was able to do it. So I think that's a big, big key component to all of this stuff is filling yourself with positivity. I hope that makes sense. Because I know it's been the thing that's changed it for me. I was on a constant yo-yo before, like yo-yo in my life, being really depressed and being anxious and overwhelmed and then being in a really good place. Now I'm just always in a fairly positive spot, even when life throws me some really large curveballs, but I can handle them in a lot different way.
And I think even like just going back to the morning routine, however it is that you, I keep getting really dark. Whatever it is you choose to do with your morning routine, the thing that we hear most often from challengers and just other women that we're talking to is that why they're not at their goals is because there's no time. There's no time in their day. They're too busy. They're too busy to work out. They don't have time to pack proper food to go to work. Like it's all those excuses, right? The time thing, which I mean, we've all used. And the whole point of a good morning routine is so that those excuses are non-existent, right? Like if you're getting up before you need to and you're penciling in that, not even penciling in, like penning in that workout, there is no excuses left. Like that's what a good morning routine can do, is it creates a lifestyle with what we're trying to do. You're going to just be consistent with doing a workout first thing in the morning before you can ever come up with a reason throughout the day of why you can't get it done. You just get it done. And you do that for a week. And then you do that for 2 weeks. And all of a sudden, it's like your new norm. And you just keep doing it and you keep doing it. Like, for me, I don't really like working out. I never did. Like, when I first started this, I wasn't super consistent when I was working out. And it wasn't until I created a morning routine that my workout fit right in there, non-negotiable. There was never any reason, no matter how busy my day was going to be. I wasn't like super crazy busy at 5 a.m. Like I didn't have any appointments. We didn't have to be out of the house by 5 a.m. Like there was no reason to ever not get it done. So it just became part of my morning routine and it was non-negotiable. It never really got missed because it was always at the same time and nothing got in the way. And then I found myself getting some pretty incredible results with my body. And it's because I was able to make that a lifestyle change because of having a good morning routine. So, I mean, having a morning routine is just going to benefit every single area of your life. Like if you're a mom and you've got small kids at home, that is like the number one thing that you can do for yourself. And I think I did a post something about like, I believe that like 99% of your problems can be solved by the phrase, get your ass out of bed earlier. And I had, well, of course, one of the people that came back to me on that was my sister. And she's like, I strongly disagree. But I guarantee if she were to list her problems to me, I do believe that the majority of them could be solved by getting your ass out of bed early. Like I don't know which problems, there's of course a couple problems that maybe can't be solved, but I would say the majority of anybody's problems can be solved by getting your ass out of bed early. I don't know why I think that's so funny.
I remember that post. That was a good one. Especially her little banter back and forth. I mean, I live with someone that's probably sitting downstairs disagreeing with us strongly because Terry loves to sleep and loves to stay up late. But I think the vital for what we're kind of talking about right now is those workouts. Like, even if the Miracle Morning, all the other stuff, the affirmations and all that stuff, you're not quite ready for yet or whatever, maybe you'll grow into that. I hope you do. But getting that workout done early, like, honestly, guys, it's 30 minutes. Like, come on, like, it's 30 minutes. That, like, all you have to do is roll out of bed. You can work out in your pajamas if you want to. Like, it is such an easy, short amount of time. And then it's done. Like, the days, there's like maybe 5 days out of 365 that I don't do my workout first thing in the morning. And those days suck ass so bad because I think about that workout all day. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I'll be eating lunch and I'll be like, oh my God, I still have to work out. But when it's done, it's like, you don't even think about it again. It's just done. And I almost think my brain hasn't turned on yet, so I don't actually realize how hard it is. Because the mornings that I don't do it and I go downstairs to do it in the afternoon, it just feels like 10 times harder. It's like my legs are heavier. I don't know. Like, it feels so much worse to me. But like, especially when it's such a short amount of time, it's not like we're asking, or you'd have to get up an hour and a half earlier to drive to the gym. I can't imagine doing that. Like, scraping off my car in the winter, driving to the gym at 5 a.m, that would seem really painful to me. But seeing that you just get to roll out of bed and get it over with, and then that's checked off your list. Like, we are all busy. Like, there's so much going on. It's that one thing that if you don't get it over with early, and when I say over with, I mean that. Like, I hate exercising. I hate it. But I know I have to do it, right? It's like a non-negotiable in my life. So if I can get that out of the way first thing, I don't have to, it's just done. I don't have to have any excuses, because that's what happens. You are always going to be the person that you cross off the list when we're busy with our kids and our jobs and our husbands, and your mom comes in and, like, you got so much to do. You're so easy to cross off the list and say, well, you know what? That just didn't happen today, but that's what a mom does. She just doesn't take care of herself. You can't do that. You have to be the strongest man in that house, because we are the ones running this thing. And 30 minutes is going to change things. That's going to change your day. It's going to make you stronger in so many areas. You kind of have to make sure you get it done first. It's like the oxygen mask coming down on the airplane, right? You're supposed to put it on you first. And that's why it's so important to make sure you do it first of all, but do it first thing so you can't put it off. Like, just get it done. And if it's really only 30 minutes that you can handle, then try thinking positive in those 30 minutes. Multitask some of it. We're good at that as moms. Make some affirmations as you're doing your warm up with Autumn.
I do think that having, like, if you took anything away from the Miracle Morning group, just having your affirmations, just write them out somewhere. And if you're not ready to say them, because, like, that was probably the thing I struggled with most was like saying them, I guess. But if you have them written out and just tuck them away if you're not ready to go there yet, but even you might be at some point, like one day in the middle of the afternoon, you might feel like you are like ready to just lose it and you're not in a good spot, and you can just grab those affirmations and they're there, you made them already, and you can pull them out. And I have done that. I've had to do that, like, in the middle of the day, like, where's my affirmations? I need my goddamn affirmations. And it just sort of like grounds me and pulls me back in. And I love knowing them, that I've got them in my notebook. I've got that page flagged and I know exactly where they are. And I do believe that out of all those things, the affirmations can really benefit you big time, even if you're not there yet. Because I get that the whole morning routine, like the miracle morning, it's intense. Like it's a lot of new things for a lot of people. What I found interesting was the people who really did well in the group, like who were posting and like clearly had sort of a mind-blowing week, and the feedback that I got in private messages, it was challengers of mine, like you guys, people who have been on this journey for a long time. Whereas the people who signed up that, you know, haven't even started their health and fitness journey, they did okay with it. But I think for you guys who have already been on this journey for so long, and this stuff isn't new to you because we're always talking about it, it was such a good added kind of bonus for you guys. And I think that our challengers took away the most benefit from it than anyone brand new, because it just might have been a little too much for them to handle right away, if that makes any sense. But I mean, I know that there's some girls that aren't on the call that just like, who were not morning people at all and have just sworn by this week, and that it's made some huge changes for them. So that's awesome. You guys are very good.
Does anybody have any questions? And one thing I want to add is, like, Megan, well, I've been at this for 3 years, and Megan, you're like 2 years in this whole culture. Sometimes it is a culture, right? And we've grown into it. Like, trust me, 3 years ago, if my coach Amy had told me to do affirmations, I'd be like, what the hell? Like, well, come on, what is she talking about? So it's like you grow into this stuff, and you do one little step, and you can see, okay, that, you know, that's making a difference. And then maybe you read another book. That one book that I read that completely changed how I talk to myself was The Art of Your Subconscious Mind. I think that's what it was called. And it's a big ass book, but it really taught, like it showed me that how you talk to yourself really changes your day, like changes everything. Like if you're going to talk to yourself in a negative way, put yourself down, all that kind of stuff, like that's what's going to reflect on your whole day, on your whole life. So that was one of the books that I read at first that really, really helped me. And we've just had different things like pop out to us in different things that we've read or different groups that we've belonged to, but it's been a journey, right? Like it's not like one day we just decided that we were going to do all of those things. So if you can implement a few of those steps, don't be hard. I always am worried when there's like real hard ass steps that we're so hard on ourselves, right? Like if we don't do it all perfectly right from the very beginning, we just kind of give up. So don't think of it like that. Even if you just take little tiny steps that are going to get you into a better, more positive place, that's good, because we led up to it too. We grew into this for sure. Wouldn't you agree, Megan?
Oh God, yeah, for sure. Like all of this, like health and fitness, everything. I didn't just like 4 or 5 months ago, I was still using double Coffee Mate in my coffee. Like, you know, it wasn't like 2 years ago I switched out everything, and like I still use real cream in my coffee too. Like shameful, right? But we didn't make all of these crazy ass changes and start reading personal development the day we signed up as a coach and started being all motivational and positive. Like it's been a journey, and every day has gotten better, right? And that's what this is. It's not like you do 1 week of a miracle morning and now you are like an expert and you've got your life figured out. Like it's everything is just such a process, right?
Yeah. When I started as a coach, personal development is something that they want. it's called one of our vital behaviors. If that'll sound crazy to you guys, but so they kind of want you to do it for at least 10 minutes a day. And I remember thinking, oh, okay, you want me to exercise, you want me to meal plan. Now you're trying to get me to run challenge groups and you want me to read and still like have the rest of my life. Like I thought they were nuts, and I didn't do it. Like that was the one thing. I mean, I did everything pretty much by the book if you tell me to do something, but that was one thing I was like, nope. And then I picked up a book that they had suggested maybe 6-7 months later and fell in love with it and realized, you know, this is probably the most important thing that I've been missing this whole time. I've done everything else but this. And that's why Megan and I have decided to bring it to you guys who, you know, you're just doing the program, the challenge, but we think it's so important for everybody to do. Like whether you're a coach or not, that has nothing to do with it. We just find like it helps you so much in so many different areas of your life. And that's why we try and really share the different books that we read that have been really good for us. Would you like to say good night?
Good night.
Okay, say good night.
Good night.
Yeah. Okay. Good night. Love you. Sorry about that. Anyways, does anybody have any questions about anything? It doesn't even have to be about this. How was everybody's weekend? Did you have big goals not to stay on plan, stay off plan? How did everybody do? Anyone gonna fast up?
Tomorrow's 4th here, so I'm kind of tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we have to go to. But I was gonna say something about the miracle morning. Real quick. I tried to do it for a few days and it just wasn't working because I kept oversleeping my alarm. I was turning it off in my bed because it was my phone. And I really did have to move it across the room. I did not want to do that because I usually wake up in the middle of the night and I kind of want to know what time it is. But I know that I can roll over and ask my husband, like, hey, what time is it? Because he has his phone over there. And that was what worked. I had to put it across the room. So that really helped. And then I struggle with anxiety. And so for me to be able to wake up before my kids and have some time to myself in the morning is so if you're with your kids all day and you're a stay-at-home mom, it really does help to have a little bit of time where you're not waking up to them crying, because that's what my previous weeks looked like. I was waking up whenever I heard them cry, and it was just, that was how my day started. So I've really enjoyed. I'm not a morning person. I hate waking up in the morning. I've never, ever, ever liked doing that, but it really has helped. No matter what time I go to bed, I just get up. So that's all.
That's awesome. Yeah. And it's hard too, if you're a stay-at-home mom, to make that decision to get up early. Like, because unless, I don't know, for me, I would get up early on the days that I had to go to work. And if I didn't have to go to work, well, why the heck would I get up super early, right? So it takes a lot to make that decision. And, people think you're absolutely nuts for setting an alarm when you don't have to get up and go to work, right? But it's just to keep your sanity and just, waking up to your kids crying and starting your day, I don't know why it took me so long to figure that wasn't working at all. And the day went downhill fast as soon as that first cry started, right? There was just no time left. There was no way I could even get into a positive mindset because it just was chaos right off the bat. And it never went away until, the kids went to bed and I got on the couch with ice cream. That was my day. So yeah, sometimes we take matters in our own hands.
I think, I know you guys are moms at home, but prior to Delaney coming into our life, I had a service-oriented hairdresser, right? So I was constantly talking all day, every day, high pressure, lots of staff to deal with. So, I am naturally a morning person. My dad used to get up at 4 a.m. and was at work by 4:30. So our house was early. And my parents don't believe in being quiet for their family. So like cupboards were slamming and dishwashers were being unloaded. So like me and my brother we are just naturally morning people because that's how we grew up. But I love that first bit of time, just even when I was working full time and was always talking to people, it was just kind of like a quiet time. So, I mean, even for women that are here with no kids, I mean, I think it's just a time to just ground yourself and give you time, because as women, moms or not, or older kids, you know, it doesn't matter. We're giving to so many places all the time. We're just giving of ourselves at work or church or business, you know, school, whatever. We don't often give ourselves any time. And if you don't, you're gonna wake up one day kind of lost and like, where am I? Like, and that's when you wake up 50 pounds heavier, unhappy. And, you know, this is a time that you can give yourself. It's so worth getting over person, because just like Megan said, you can make yourself be anything. You know, you just have to do it. It's just like losing weight. You just have to decide. You know, it was just like this weekend, not cheating. I just had to decide, you know, and I had to do it, and I had to follow through. I mean, it's just like we teach our kids, right? You make a decision and you stick to it and you do it. So what it can give you back is so huge as females, I think, because it gives you some time to yourself to sort of figure things out. And then when you add the physical component to it, the exercise, you're just, you know, that's like the icing on the cake, right? You're giving yourself your health back. And it goes without saying that the most successful people in the world are early risers. I heard this statistic a couple days ago on a podcast. Like, there was all the richest people in the world. They usually get up between 4 and 4:30 in the morning, and you know, they have this whole 3-hour routine before they head to work. And yeah, that's what they attribute a lot of their success to, their morning routine. So there's something good about it. Anyways, guys, if nobody has any questions, or do you need any help with anything, that's what we like to end these calls with, to do with anything. It doesn't have to be to do with this subject. We're ready to head into another week. Okay. Everybody's good.
Good night, guys.
Okay. Good night, guys.